Loves the dog the cat. Seems like an interesting sentence, but besides the questionable ethics of that, this sentence is kind of confusing. Let me explain how cases work. Before we explain cases, we have to go through the basics of word order again. The dog sees the cat. Let's make it a bit easier this time. And as you can see by the diagram here, the dog does indeed see the cat. We can split these into three parts: the dog, sees, and the cat. These three parts can be labelled differently. The verb is a doing word. That's one you may know from doing just school in general. And we can mark this with a V. V for verb, of course. Here's two you may not know, however. The dog, in this case, is the subject. The doer, the thing that does the verb. And we can mark that with an S. And the cat is an object, the receiver of the verb. Mark that with an O for object. We can also replace these with personal pronouns. There are many variations of word order. In English we use SVO, as you can see here. However, there are about 5 others. And some are more common than others. There is no specific order in this table. They're just interesting. He sees me is the default word order of English. And some other languages use he, me, sees, SOV. Other languages use something that's less common, such as sees, me, he. So through some example sentences, he, me, hears, eat, I, it, shoes, me, he, could be, you, it. We can determine 3 different parts. The verb, of course, is hears, eat, shoes, and could be. However, here's the fun part. We can actually determine from this which are the subject and object. Just by looking at it, you can probably figure out what the sentence should be in normal word order. The first one, he, me, hears. The he is the subject and me is the object. He hears me. The second one, I is the subject, it is the object. I eat it. The third sentence, he is the subject, me is the object, he shoes me. Fourth one, however, you can't really tell. This sentence could be one of 2 things. It could be you could be it. You could be the subject, and it could be the object, meaning the sentence is you could be it. However, this could also be reversed. This is because if we look at the pronouns of English, you and it, and also plural you, but that's not intended for the sentence, both have no distinction between subject and object, so it's hard to tell. However, you can still understand sentences, because English is completely word order based, and none of these really matter too much. They provide a bit of extra context, but they aren't necessary. However, we can also change something about this. We can change subject and object at the top of the table for nominative and accusative. These are the equivalent cases. So what are cases exactly, and what's the difference to word order? Well, there isn't much. Word order is obviously word order. However, cases are different. They both show the relationships of object and a sentence, however. As we can see in this table, we have multiple different word orders, all being subject, verb, object, verb, etc. And we can tell what they mean just by looking at them, because we can tell the difference between he and me and automatically figure out what they mean. There are other ways, however, of discerning this. For example, if you had an object instead of he and me, like shelf and book, how do you add these cases onto the objects? You can probably use one of 2 ways. There might be more, I'm not sure. But 2 main ones are using affixes, such as prefixes, suffixes, infixes, etc., or particles. First, the affixes. The mouse eats the cheese is an example sentence I can use here. I'm going to firstly figure out what each part of the sentence means. The is the definite article. It's the. Mouse is the nominative case in this sentence. Eats is just the verb, and cheese is the accusative case. So let's have a dictionary of our language in the top left corner, and we can use that. Firstly, I'm going to translate the sentence literally. Just word for word, nothing special done here. However, because this sentence, for example, is going to be completely word orderless, it's going to be completely free, I can't exactly be having the there where it is. Because if I put the anywhere else in the sentence, it could be describing the cheese or anything else. So instead, we're going to prefix that to what it describes, the mouse. And I'm going to name this step as deal with stray words, because it doesn't really make sense if it's anywhere else in the sentence besides describing the object. Next, we'll make some case affixes. In this case, nominative is going to be represented by on, and accusative by C. And I'm going to suffix them to the words. As you can see here, I've separated them by hyphens just so it's easy to see. Then I will join them like that. But let's say I don't want these double letters. Well, I'm just going to get rid of them because it would probably still make sense. And here's our final sentence. I have marked t or the with grey just because it's there, and the suffixes in red. Te amanon umnatisi. The mouse eats the cheese. Let's go to particles. The mouse eats the cheese, we use the same sentence because we're used to it. And again, we will just describe these and have our dictionary. Firstly, again, write it out exactly the same as it should be. Instead of adding the to the mouse, I'm just going to leave it be because this time we're going to have some sort of fixed word order or particles wouldn't work. Next, we'll figure out what our case particles are. I've used the same ones as before. And I will just put those after each word in the sentence as what I've decided. And there we go, that's our sentence there. What about other cases though? What if we don't want to use nominative and accusative all the time? Well, for example, instrumental can exist. I'll leave a link in the description to a list of cases that can be found in natural languages today. Normally, cases are added onto the noun they describe. So, for example, with an instrumental case, I cleaned it with a brush. The instrumental case is the with a part. It will replace that. It describes the instrument that you use to do something. So, I cleaned it brusher. That's quite a, I don't know, something cool about that sentence. Others can also be dative. German speakers and learners will definitely know the pain of this. He gave a book to me can become he gave a book me's. Possessive case, the food of Drac can become Drac's food. I know the tutorial wasn't perfect, and I probably did make a few mistakes in there, so if that's the case, please do correct me. Also, if you need any further help, my Discord is always in the description of the video, or you can just leave a comment underneath this video. And as I said at the beginning of the year, I am trying to get at least one video out a month now. I've obviously got 2 out this month, 3 if you include the January the 1st video, but at least 2 videos out this month. Next month there might only be 1 because the project I have planned might take a bit of time to do the video for, because I want it to be the best possible quality that I can. So please do forgive me if I only have 1 out. If you have any other ideas that I could probably do as smaller videos in the meantime, I would happily accept them. Just leave them in the video suggestions channel in my Discord or in the comments. Also, huge thank you to you guys for the support. I received some more fan art, which is surprising. I didn't think anyone really cared about my channel that much to draw things for me, but it's incredible, so thank you guys for being awesome. It's you I make these videos for, just so you guys can get something new to do whilst you're in your whatever state currently. I hope everyone is doing well. It's a tough time, I know myself. But thank you to the people who have made this amazing. And 500 subs actually. That was recently. So that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.